Homeowners, you need to check your mailbox or call your insurance agent. If your insurance provider is Citizens Property Insurance, you may need to find another company to insure your property. That's because the company sent letters notifying homeowners that the deadline to respond is next week, that you're going to have to make a decision, essentially. Sean Way owns We Insure Group, an insurance agency, and is joining us this morning to explain. We explained to our viewers a little bit earlier in the last hour, but I think because this impacts so many people, Sean, so 300,000 customers will receive this in the state of Florida, and then there's another 150,000 because additional private insurance companies have been brought on as well. This is a lot of people. So for anybody who has received this letter from Citizens, what exactly does it mean and what are they supposed to do?
Well, the depopulation letter that they receive is going to notify them of one of two things: that they received the offer that's either within the 20% threshold or outside of that 20% threshold. And what I mean by that is, say your premium is $1,000 and the offer is $1,200. So that's over 20% of the Citizens premium. So you would have to accept that takeout offer. Now, if the premium is less than 20% of your Citizens premium, you can remain with Citizens, but you have to make that choice, and that's why it's important. If you have a Citizens policy and you haven't gotten anything in the mail yet, contact your agent. I had a client of mine talk with me about a week ago. We got everything taken care of. Then she gets the letter in the mail and calls me in a panic, and I said, ma'am, we've already taken care of this. We did this last week. And so that's why it's important. If you have a Citizens policy, regardless, whether if you receive the notice in the mail, contact your agent and find out where you stand.
Because something may be changing and you're simply not aware of it yet because you haven't received the letter. Either this most recent round of letters that was mailed out or also the one that's getting ready to come. Now, when you describe this, because this feels very detailed, and if I'm a new homeowner and don't exactly understand this and I'm reading this, I mean, does Citizens really kind of spell it out in the letter, essentially saying, hey, look, we are the insurance of last resort. We have to now offload essentially several 100,000 of these policies because there is concern that, God forbid, we have some kind of natural disaster. We want Citizens to be able to have enough money to be able to protect the people who are in their policy, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, and then that said, is it explained to them then that here are your options? You can go with this insurance company. Are they already told what the policy will cost them? Or is it on them to call that insurance company that's being proposed to them to find out what it would cost them?
It's really a seamless process. They really just need to contact they can go online and make the selection themselves. However, it's best to call your agent, talk with them to compare coverages, to get an understanding of the takeout offer if you're going to accept that. But the agent has the ability to make the selection for the client, and so their policy will remain. So if they've already paid their premium for that year, the policy will remain with Citizens. It's the following year, when the policy renews, it will roll over to that takeout company.
Okay, so it's not an immediate, you've got to let us know by October 10th what your decision is based on this letter, and then in a week you're switching policies. It's not working that way?
No, you do have to let your agent know your option.
Okay.
But there's no need to just run out and panic and think you have to go and purchase a new insurance policy. It's just about making that selection, because if you don't make a selection, and let's say you have multiple offers, Citizens will select the offer that has the lower premium.
The lower premium. So the feedback that you're receiving, is this for those who are being told that they need to find a different insurance company, essentially, are they typically paying more than what they were paying with Citizens based on the customers you've heard from?
Actually, we're seeing a mix, but we are starting to see rates trend downward. And that's a good thing in the market, to be able to provide relief. But again, when you talk to your agent, you do have the option at that time to shop for additional insurance if you want to look and see what the market is bearing. But typically with the takeout offers, we're seeing some that are actually less than what the client was paying with Citizens.
So what's the bigger picture here? Some might say, well, this isn't fair. Why is Citizens doing this to me? Would you give better perspective? Because, I mean, we've been reporting for 2 or 3 years now on the property insurance crisis.
When we write a policy with our clients, with Citizens, we explain to them that the way Citizens is set up, it is the option of last resort. And you may get a takeout offer, you may get multiple takeout offers during the policy period. And the reason is, in the event we're hit with a natural disaster, hurricane, let's say multiple, and you do run the risk of having an assessment added to your policy. And this is a way to help avoid that happening. And then it impacts all of the citizens in the state. So when we can reduce the amount of policies that citizens have, it works for everyone.
And doesn't it also, if more private insurance companies are involved, create some competition?
Yes.
Where hopefully then what will happen is that all of the policies will come down in price?
That's the hope. That's the hope,
Well,
yes.
we just hope that the hurricane season just stays, I don't want to jinx anything by saying it, but let's just hope that we can kind of get through the rest of the season and go unscathed. Sean, thanks for the explanation. I appreciate it.
My
It can be
pleasure.
very confusing, but can also, for most people, their major asset is their home, and they want to certainly protect it should something happen. So I appreciate you explaining it. And again, that deadline then to make a decision if you received one of these letters is Tuesday. And if you haven't, and Citizens is your insurance provider, best to call your insurance agent too and make sure that you are fully aware of what's going on.